Hi everyone, it's Tom with the LEC preview of the fourth week of the LEC Summer Split, which will mark the halfway point of the regular split. So after this weekend, teams will have kind of an indication of where they stand, I suppose, and exactly what they need to do in order to either stay where they are, which is probably a position that Misfits will be in, as heading into this weekend they are still first with the 6-1 score, or something they need to change up entirely, like a team like SK Gaming, who is still at the bottom at the moment. We kick off the week with Vitality and Astralis, who I don't think gonna play a very close game. Vitality obviously coming back off the 2-0 week, looking pretty good. Just in general in shape, they were really dominant against G2, which was also obviously because G2 didn't play very well and their draft was very questionable. But still, Vitality has slowly but surely been channeling their aggression better, and I think against a team like Astralis, who, I don't know, it's hard to like a White Knight in the top lane has been for me the standout player, but yeah, how is he gonna be able to carry against a team like Vitality? Other than that, Benji Felix has had some solid performances, so I don't know. It's just gonna be very difficult for Astralis to be able to overcome Vitality on all facets. That said, Astralis has obviously been able to keep up pretty decently with teams when they played against G2, when they played against Fnatic in previous weeks. So while they're, I think, also 2 and 5 at the moment in the standings, don't think they're as bad as some of the other teams there. I don't think that's entirely reflective of their skill level, but I still think that against Vitality, Astralis is not gonna pick up a win. So I think Vitality will win that. Then we have SK Gaming and Rogue as the second match. Rogue near the top of the standings, and aside from the mid lane, Larson was struggling a bit, as you may have been able to see in an interview, which I'll link above, where he talks about this. Other than that, SK Gaming is probably just weaker in all regards. Inspired is the best jungler at the moment. Hansam and Trimby form one of the best bot lanes in the LEC at the moment. Top lane Genox in a laning phase is actually pretty good. But I still think overall Odoamne brings more to Rogue as a team, because Rogue is more of a team at the moment than Genox does to SK Gaming, even though individually he might be performing very well. So I don't think this is going to be a very difficult one for Rogue to overcome. A more difficult match to predict, in my opinion, is Misfits versus Mad Lions on the as the third match of the day, actually, because Mad Lions was weighed down by their quarantine, which I spoke about with Karji, which I'll also link up above if you want to see that, where we talk about how the quarantine has affected him. And I think Misfits has that momentum, right? They've only suffered one loss so far in the split, and even though the recent victories may not have been as explosive from a player like Veteo in the mid lane, other players have been able to step up gradually. Herit is having a fantastic split. Razork is having a great split. If you look at Mad Lions, Humanoid is the best performing player, in my opinion. Elyoya is still a pretty solid player. Kaiser is fine, but Armut and Karzi especially are having a pretty rough split. And as a whole, as a team, Mad Lions is having a difficult split as well. They're still 4 and 3, obviously heading into the weekend, so still a positive record in that regard. But it is not the Mad Lions that we're used to seeing from when they played in playoffs or when they played at MSI. They have been affected by that quarantine, and so given the overall team state, and even though Mad Lions now is out of quarantine and the players are able to leave their rooms again, and obviously that's gonna be a big positive influence on their team as well. I do think that Misfits will still take this. I think it's gonna take Mad Lions at least one more week until they are back in the shape they want to be in. Shoka Fear versus Fnatic is the fourth match of the first day, and I wish I could say that it's gonna be a close game, but Fnatic's probably gonna easily win this. Shoka Fear has just been struggling as a whole overall, and Fnatic has been playing super well. So I can be sure about this one. This is probably one of the most one-sided games of the entire weekend, actually. Except for maybe G2 versus XL, which is the final game on Friday. And Yeah, I mean, G2 has not been the G2 that we're used to seeing. Obviously, they're going through a big rebuild where they're trying to change their approach to the game entirely, which is basically breaking everything down and building it back up while still moving in the process. And it's like we can see that they're having a difficult time. Right, last week it's the first weekend in a while that they go 0-2. But against Excel, who now is bringing in Markoen and Advien, who are also Dutch, so for me it's an increase in Dutch players in the league, which is fun to see. But they need to get adjusted to this roster as well. No matter how good they are, there's going to be some initial synergy issues that they're probably going to need to iron out. And I think just in general level of play, G2 is better than Excel, even though I will say that I can definitely see a world where Nuke Duck in the mid lane outclasses Caps, because Caps has not been having a great split either, and Nuke Duck has been having a great split. So perhaps we can see Nuke Duck outclass Caps, but I think that overall G2 should easily be able to take XL down. XL also kicks off the first game on Saturday between them and Vitality. Now, yeah, so where I said that Nuke Duck obviously might be able to outclass Caps, I think Leader for Vitality has been very explosive, and even though he has had moments where he just tower dove and ran it down a bit and got over aggressive and something like this, I think he's going to be a very good match for Nuke Duck. And in the other lanes, I think Vitality is going to be better as well. Just overall, Vitality has a much better roster that plays coherently. The only the only things that they do wrong is being overly aggressive and overextending, and then giving the opponents a window to climb back in, which is not something that I've seen Excel do much, except for their game versus Shoka. I think it was in the opening weekend where Shoka got a lead, then did nothing with it, and Excel climbed back into the game, which was good for Excel, obviously. But I don't think that Vitality is a team that is going to do nothing with a lead they get. Instead, they're maybe trying a bit too much, but I don't think that Excel is a team that is going to be able to punish that, because it requires a lot of coordination. So I think Vitality will win that game. Then we have Shoka versus Astralis. A bottom matchup, obviously, where both teams are really scraping for their wins. I do think that Astralis is probably going to win this. I'm not sure for Shoka of Fear how much the announcement that they made that their LEC slot is going to be sold to Team BDS is impacting the players. I'm not sure if that did anything for the team internally. I'll try to request an interview this weekend to find out about that. But yeah, overall, I think that just as a team, Astralis is performing slightly better. If Shoka of Fear wants to find an advantage, I think it's going to have to be in the bot lane, where Astralis' bot lane has been having struggles getting ahead. So maybe if Shoka of Fear heavily focuses on playing towards that bot lane and getting them ahead, and from there on carry across the map, maybe that's something they can do. But overall, I do expect Astralis to be slightly better than Shoka of Fear. And yeah, but I don't think this is going to be a very pretty game. So we'll obviously see on the day itself and in my recap, which I'll be posting on Sunday, how it turned out. But I don't think this is going to be a super entertaining game in terms of high-level gameplay. SK Gaming is on third versus Fnatic. And yeah, it's just SK Gaming. Even though, obviously, they have the new support who had a very good game last week when SK picked up their first win, which was against XL. I find it hard to predict them doing well against anybody but other bottom teams. So for now, it's probably going to be an easy Fnatic win for me. And then fourth with Misfits versus G2. There are two very cool games. Well, three actually, if I look at it. There are three very cool games this weekend, which to me are Misfits versus Mad Lions. And then there's Misfits versus G2 in the match of the week, which I'll get to after this one. But Misfits versus G2, it's going to be a very interesting one, because I would say, every lane, Misfits has been performing better in the split, where Herod has been a better top laner than Wunder has. Razork has been a better jungler than Jankos has. Vegeo has been a better mid laner than Caps has. Kobe, he has had pretty standard moments. I think that maybe Reckless is just not getting a chance to shine much because of how G2 is performing. But Kobe has been playing very well. So maybe I put his performance just slightly ahead of that of Reckless at the moment. And then Vander as support player. I always have a weakness for support players because I love to play support myself as well. But Vander has been brilliant in helping Misfits set up things. And Mickey has had great performances as well, but he also had some very questionable moments, and I've seen fewer of those from Vander. But looking at the game overall, you can't just not deny that Misfits is in a way better state than G2 is. And there's no reason for me to believe that all of a sudden G2 is going to be able to defeat Misfits here, right? Normally, you'd say, okay, G2 has the better class overall. They have the better players overall. So they should be able to defeat Misfits, right? Which they very well might. You don't know when this G2 roster is going to show up, but it's also their flaw, and which is why I would say I would give it to Misfits, because they have had that consistency so far in the split. It is going to be a new patch, so maybe that is going to benefit G2, and that goes for the rest of the teams as well, right? I'm not sure which of these teams is best capable of adapting to a new patch. Mad Lions has been able to do so in the past, but you never know. So based on how they're currently performing, which also weighs in on how their mentality is, their approach, how they're feeling themselves, it's all coming in, it's all factoring in together. So I would say that Misfits is going to win this. And then finally we have Rogue versus Mad Lions, the match of the week, the rematch of the LEC Spring Split finals. And Rogue is set on revenge, obviously. They're looking better at the moment than Mad Lions is. I do think Rogue is going to win this based on the shape they're in. But who knows that maybe against a team such as Mad Lions, such as Rogue, Mad Lions is going to able to step it up and is going to feel that extra vigor to perform well against Rogue. I think this game, much like the previous one, is very difficult to predict. As I said, I do think that Rogue is the favored one, so I would give it to them based on individual and team performance as well. But to me, the mid lane is going to be very interesting, where we will see Humanoid and Larson. Humanoid has, as I said before in this video, been incredible. In my opinion, Larson has not been incredible, so it's going to be interesting to see which one of them will get ahead in this matchup in particular. And those are my predictions for the upcoming LEC weekend. Let me know in the comments below which matches you are looking forward to. Maybe you have some different predictions here and there. Maybe you do think, I don't know, that SK Gaming can topple Fnatic. Who knows? Let me know. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post a lot of interviews on this channel, as you may have seen me referring previously as well. And stay tuned for more content.